Hey Broadway world, this is Backstage at Beauty and the Beast. I'm Anneliese and I play Belle. And I'm so glad you could come with me to see my dressing room and look around at the whole behind the scenes of Broadway.
Great ad lib. Great ad lib.
I started working with Andrew McGarrian at the shop in Burbank and realized I really wanted to do film as well. And I really liked the intimate, close acting and the subtleness of it, and really how acting's listening and all of that. I'm trying to think of
Like Shakespeare in the Park and everything like that, with outdoor theaters of interesting stories with planes interrupting,
right,
or anything like that. Any funny stories from when you were doing Evita?
To be honest, no. It was still kind of enclosed when we did Evita, but they picked a good area to do this outdoor theater. But I know exactly what you're talking about the Shakespeare in the Park, and yeah, you can get some crazy noises, or just, people honking and crazy people on the street screaming. And no, we were lucky. We were pretty lucky. Inspiration. My mother, my sister, everybody. My father, my other sister. Yeah, I was really lucky, and I wasn't in an area. I wasn't in LA. I was in at first in Bellflower, and then in Long Beach, which isn't incredibly open to the arts, but my mother sought out places to go and things to do, and things to read, plays to read. I also went to, she took me to the Orange County High School of the Arts, which was a good thing for me as well, a wonderful thing, especially when I got That's So Raven. They were very considerate and helpful with my academics. I was able to still go to school part-time and do the television show. So I always had a family that supported it and found ways to make it easier and adaptable for me.
Since you brought it up, did you know that you share something in common with the original Belle?
No. Oh, Susan Egan. Oh, yes, of course. Of course. Yeah, David Green, who really is the head of OSHA, always told me, Susan Egan was one of the first classes, OSHA classes, she, if that makes any sense. And David Green would always tell me that I reminded him of her, that there was this woman named Susan Egan and I kind of looked like her. And then I did a show called Beguiled again at the International City Theater, and I got a write-up in the LA Times, and they said, Anneliese will be the next Susan Egan. And then I got another write-up in Dramalog, when Backstage West wasn't around and it was just Dramalog, saying something similar to me being like Susan Egan. And then, of course, now I'm Belle, and it just all comes full circle. It's really interesting. I wish I even came close to Susan Egan, but she's quite a talent and beautiful, and I've actually been lucky enough to meet her several times and to see her work. I just saw her one-woman show, and it was just amazing. I even got to sing with her, not just I think her. A lot of people think, because Beauty and the Beast is a Disney project, and I worked with Disney, that it was easy for me to get this part. And to be honest, I definitely had heads up before anybody else, and that definitely helped, the fact that I was on the show. But it wasn't just handed to me. I had to fly to New York, audition, and then audition again. And then that's when I got the part. I found out actually that day, luckily enough. But it wasn't, so easy to where they just called me. I mean, I definitely had to prove myself as a singer and an actress, and even, really as a dancer, even though Belle doesn't dance much. She does dance a bit, which I actually love. I'm so excited. I didn't realize Belle got to do a kick line, but she does. Yeah, I think a lot of people think, oh, Disney Channel star, maybe she can't pull it off, and maybe I can't. But I've definitely been very, very lucky as far as Disney goes. Disney's been very good to me. This might all be boring, but originally Chelsea's name was Emma, and they changed Emma's name to Chelsea, and that's the long story of how I got in and stayed. Everyone asks me that, if I'm similar to Chelsea, and I'm similar to Chelsea in that I think I care a great deal about my friends. I want what's best for them. She really cares about the world and her surroundings, and not just herself, even though she is in her own head most of the time. She really cares about making the world a better place, and not just herself, and not just her clothing or her this or her that. And I'd like to hope I'm like that, or aspire to that. I'm not nearly as dim-witted as she is, or innocent. I think she's, pretty innocent. I don't know if I'm quite that innocent, but she's, pretty stupid. I'm sorry, Chelsea, but you are. She just doesn't get it. I think I'm a bit quicker and more savvy. I hope so. So I started rehearsal March 20th. I had about 2 weeks to rehearse, which doesn't seem like a lot, and it's not a lot. But this was really the first time I've ever rehearsed completely on my own. Whenever I've ever done theater, the cast comes together, they sit in a circle, they do this whole read, you go through the music, you have people to work off of, you're constantly working, but everybody was cast and they brought me in late. So I worked with Daria and with Amy, the musical and coach, and the choreographer Daria. And they were just amazing. We worked about 5 hours a day on music, and Daria would play 8 different roles in the dance studio. She would be the father and the beast and everybody. And that's the thing that's difficult. It's really difficult to not work with everybody, and to literally I had one rehearsal with everybody before I opened, and that was the day before, and it was the first time I wore costumes, the first time I worked with the first time I worked with everybody was very, very nerve-wracking. I was very, very nervous, but as soon as I started the show, it got a bit better. I got less and less nervous, and it gets better every time. I've been doing the show now for a little over a week. I think I've done 10 performances, and I'm just now feeling comfortable backstage where I can joke around with people and, make fun and blah, 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 but I love